Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Sorry if my face is getting way too close to the camera. Actually, I should also do a double check. Not really picking up audio that much. Anyway, today it's Midweek Magic, it's Explorer, and it's a bit rough for if I want to do Explorer plus Wilds of Eldraine, considering that a lot of that Explorer for the most part did not really use much of the cards from Wilds of Eldraine. I've heard there are some cards here and there that are being added to a few decks, like Azorius Control just added the whale as an additional card. I think they added the whale Azorius Control slash Lotus Field combo. Some not much offering to offer otherwise. So that said, I'm going to be playing a deck. One of the first decks I played when Explorer was first announced. It's not a very strong deck these days, to be honest. It's more of a fun deck. It's really for funsies. So this was the Adventures deck I played back in the days of Standard. I ported it to Explorer, plus minus a few cards, mostly the mana based editions. Okay, and we are adding a few cards from Wilds of Eldraine, notably cards with Adventures. Who would have thought? Okay, first off, the cards that didn't really change. Edgewall Innkeeper, okay, maybe one copy less. Lucky Clover still up there. Lovestruck Beast, always solid. Still generates lots of bodies. Brazen Borrower is the only reason why I'm not able to run Giganta as a companion, but you kind of really need the Brazen Borrower. Being able to bounce your opponent's threats buys you a lot of time. In conjunction with Lucky Clover, it's a real thing. So that one is still there. That one's still 3 copies. Bone Crusher Giant is still a solid. Fae of Wishes is still a solid. It's pretty much how you get most of your win cons. In our sideboard, we'll get to that later. And Beanstalk Giant, always solid. So the cards that we've added recently, also Escape to the Wilds. This one's a way to get lots of advantage when you get to the mid game. So what we've added, we're adding 3 copies of Frolicking Familiar, mostly for the blow off scheme. We have so many nice targets for this. If opponent's playing Elvish Mystic or Llanowar Elves, this is a very good way to pick them off. Especially if you combine with the Lucky Clover, getting to pick off multiple X1s is a plus. Questing Druid, we're trying one of these out. It gives us some extra card draw. Scalding Viper is basically our 4th Brazen Borrower in terms of bouncing stuff, but also does give us a little bit of extra reach. Probably could use a few more copies of this. I wish this was an instant, not a sorcery, but we'll take it for what it is. And we're gonna run the 1 copy of the Luna that we got from draft, just to check it out. Most likely, this is probably easily probably don't really need this. I've also added a few copies of Edgewall in, but for the most part, my mana base is mostly the same from last time. I've added some mana confluences. So for our sideboard, since this is best of 1, we're only getting access to 7 cards, so we're gonna choose the most important ones. I guess I could try Battle of Frost and Fire, but so first, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. If we can cast one of this, it's usually game over most of the time. Chandra Awaken, kind of like our board wipe plus win con. Brotherhood's End if we need a cheaper one. Prismari Command, sometimes we do need to draw cards. Damping Sphere is mostly for the Nykthos Shrine to Nyx matchup. If we can cast this, we can kind of lock them out. We could really slow them down for the most part. Hitting Needle, I guess I could probably sub it down. I do have a bunch of other options here, but I'm not so sure what I would put in there. So I'm leaving the Hitting Needle up there for now. Grafdigger's Cage. Creature cards. Unfortunately, this does not work with Absent. So actually, that is a good point. Maybe I should look for something that can prevent stuff from entering the graveyard. Let's do a check. So if I can, because Grafdigger's Cage doesn't really help against the Absent matchup, and that is a very popular one. I guess I could just get I could just add the 1 copy of Tormod's Crypt, but I want to see if there's something that's Lantern of the Lost if I want to pay mana, Scrabbling Claws. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. Okay, Silent Gravestone kinda counts. So So this locks out absent for the most part. I guess we can do that. So not to. So Graviticker's Cage can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. So this one's also important. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the Pitting Needle. Add the Silent Gravestone. That gives us an additional option. I'll edit the deck list as later on when I have time. But yeah, Silent Gravestone can go up, Shadow Spear can go down. Yeah, and that is looking like a decent option. So we're gonna give this one a go. Okay, so this one, don't know if we need the blue right away. But we're definitely keeping this first. So we can go Stomping Grounds turn 1 if our opponent presents a land to our elves. And yep, that kind of demonstrates why we're actually playing that. Refresh cache. Don't know if it's gonna. So opponent does have multiple elves. So kind of wish I saved up the Lucky Clover for that. We could play Rootbound Crag into Lucky Clover, but we still won't have the blue mana. I guess we might be able to go Lovestruck Beast later. So let's do that. Opponent is playing the Niktos deck. So I guess we can. So I guess we can do Scalding. Well, we're still missing the mana. Opponent is gonna cast quite a lot, so we might not actually get there in time. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna name blue with this one. We're gonna buy as much time as possible, considering our opponent actually running Ugin main deck, which is usually not how you do it. So buy as much time as possible. We might still get domed by okay, Old Growth Troll is fine. World Breaker. That's the latest tech that they've added. Yeah, unfortunately, we did slow them down a bit, but we needed more burn. We'll take the hit for now. So bouncing these doesn't exactly quite help. So let's see. This is sorcery speed, so I kind of have to do one of. No, I could just play Lovestruck Beast, but that feels really poor. Yeah, unfortunately they had the World Breaker for this, and I won't be. So this is 7 mana. It only generates 1, so not really helpful. I don't want to bounce this one. Yeah, let's just bounce this one. But honestly, yeah, still a bit on the slow side. That is one thing that we have to consider. Opponent had a really perfect start into even more elves. They still got 3 mana left over for. Yeah. Now, do we have any real outs here? Not really. We don't have the time. We do get to block. We do get to buy some time here. And if we can hit 1 more mana, we can probably just. Okay, perfect. Now we're a bit. We are kind of on defense right now. I guess next turn we can play Escape, but. Opponent is sitting at 17, close to 20 mana. The only thing they're missing is cards. Let's see, what card could they possibly get back? That's the problem. They can get back quite a bit of cards. I could make them sacrifice lands. I could just make them start sacrificing lands, I guess. Because they don't, because it does, they can sacrifice lands, just cast it to get it back. Also, yeah, did I miss? Yeah, that should have been a 12. Okay, gets it back to hand. So now we have 3 mana. I can cast Escape to the Wilds, but it just puts us in real trouble here. At least if our... Okay. 5, 6, 7, they will still have enough to cast this. They could try just exile a land. Yeah, this is the... Yep, this is... It's kind of over once they hit that much. Yeah, I did say that this is not exactly the most powerful deck, and it shows. We really needed to be able to interact with most of their early stuff. It just didn't quite happen. But we're willing to give it another shot. We do have a somewhat better yeah, it's unfortunate that our opponent was able to flood the board early with elves. I did originally have counter spells to fill up some slots before I had the new adventure, so that is something to consider. Okay, so definitely want to land this on blue, but there is no rush for this. You know what I'm gonna do is but I'm gonna do it now because next turn I'm most likely going to just play Bone Crusher Giant. Opponent playing Jund into Oni Cold Anvil, so let's do a check. Now we do have to be careful when targeting with Bone Crusher because our opponent can just sacrifice the artifact. So Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, they can sack. If they're gonna sack that one right now, I'm fine with it because oh no, they're just sacking. Oh, the problem is that they are still able to trigger to sack this. I could actually just willingly give it up. Yeah, let's willingly give it up. Let's force them to sack it now. They won't get the replacement token. We will get dinged 1 life, but it will force them to have another artifact from scratch. Oh yeah, one of the recent additions we've had to the Fae of Wish setup is Brotherhood's End. Brotherhood's End, aside from being able to deal damage to planeswalkers, has the mode of destroy all artifacts that are mana 3 or less. Yeah, I'm gonna cast this now. You're just gonna go for Brotherhood's End. Yeah, we're just considering our opponent is stuck on mana for quite a bit. We're just going to reset their entire board. Cauldron Familiar. I guess with the second Fae we can go for Ugin. So opponent can sack that in response, generate the token. And we will most likely Yeah, we're gonna take some damage here, but we're going to play our Fae of Wishes now. Start drawing into more cards so we can get a bigger setup. And pass. Next turn, Ketria Triome, we probably just play. Opponent gets Trail of Crumbs, but no way of sacrificing. They're still missing a lot of mana. Okay, they're sacrificing a food. They're going to reveal a permanent card. So they're using this to dig for lands. They found a Blood Crypt. Sure. Place it tapped. Okay, so we now hit our Questing Druid, which allows us to exile cards and play them. But I probably want to do that as an end of turn thing. Let's keep drawing cards. And let's blow off some steam while we can. Now we can start hitting back a bit. So next turn we do have the option to Questing Beast. We're going to be taking some damage again. Opponent is now making... Oh, opponent really is stuck for mana. They'll need another mana to crack the food token, but... So most likely I want to do is Fae of Wishes. Most likely what I want to do is Fae of Wishes, grab Ugin, just X out. Ooh, they hit their oven again. Okay. Now I remember what I got Pitting Needle for. So let's see. We can play Questing Druid first. Start drawing a lot of cards. Brazen Borrower allows us to save. We're going to bounce the oven, force them to activate it. Now they can sack the food. But now I can just hold this up. In fact, let's see, we got 3 mana. No, I definitely want to cast for 2. Kind of flooding the board a bit. Now our opponent can sack. Oh, they're not going to sack it yet. Okay, they're actually going to hold back, which is pretty brilliant. Mayhem Devil. So deals 1 damage to that player. So if our opponent probably wants to cast the oven. Okay, they're skipping the oven. So what we're going to do is we're going to bounce to the Mayhem Devil. Yeah, basically we're punishing them for not having enough mana. So they can play the land, take 2, play the oven, kind of back where we started. Yeah, Prismari Command, destroy target artifact. Let's see. And our opponent's sacking that means that... Okay, actually we'll leave that behind. Get rid. Opponent's gonna chump one. And let's see, we're at 11. Yeah, we'll go Love Struck Beast, give them something to hit. I'm seeing. Okay, they're not gonna fall into temptation. They're going to play Mayhem Devil first, then sack Cauldron Familiar, pay the one. We're actually drawn a lot of cards off this, so I'm surprised our opponent. Well, our opponent targeted the Viper last time, so surprised they didn't go for the Edgewall Innkeeper. They might go for the Innkeeper this time. Yes, that's right. So and opponent concedes. Look, we actually survived the. Well, to be fair, our opponent was stuck on mana for the longest time, so we did survive that one. I figured that, yeah, Junk Food would also be one of the decks that would have benefited a lot from Wilds of Eldraine, so plenty of food token action going there. That's good. Looking kind of good on that one. So there we go, got our nice win. We'll see how many more we can get today. And what do we get for our troubles? Moment of Valor. Sure. Not exactly the best version of that effect. But we'll take it for what it is. Okay, so yeah, this is a definite. It's a bit of an awkward keep, but we will keep this one. The rootbound crags are a problem. I'll admit. These kinds of lands, though. Okay, opponent goes Unlucky Witness. Do I just go for the Lucky Clover right away? Yeah, let's go. Let's go for the Lucky Clover. Let's see what version of Rakdos Sacrifice this is. So at least this way we will get like 4 shots with Frolicking Familiar, but we do have to be careful on how we target. Which is Oven, so they might sack it right away. So we're probably looking. So there was an argument for playing. Let's see if they give us. Okay. So I'm gonna bounce this one. Then use the copy to bounce Unlucky Witness. Though, yeah, because of the way it triggers, let's see if our opponent figures it out. They can force me to blanket. Yeah, they're gonna sack it right away. So, though they hit a bunch of lands off this. Oh wait, no, there's another target. So that was almost a disaster, but we kind of dodged that. Next turn, we're gonna go Beanstalk Giant. Start with some Fertile Footsteps. Try to improve our mana situation. Yeah, opponent loses Sokenzan. They'll most likely replay the Oven. No, they're gonna play Fable. So definitely a mountain. Oh, I should also update my lands. I forgot. I should have gotten the other mountain just to hold something up. But we'll leave it like this. Opponent probably gonna start digging quite a bit. Next turn we can go Fae of... We could also do Belluna Grand Squall, mill 7 cards, but this only just puts an adventure in our hand. It doesn't actually cast it, so we might actually just play Belluna as is. It will allow us to, say, play Brazen Borrower on the cheap, play Frolicking Familiar on the cheap. Opponent plays Witch's Oven into Mayhem Devil. Okay, nothing to sack quite yet. Okay, Beanstalk Giant really helpful here. So that sets us up for 4 mana. Let's get the last of our... And let's get some blue as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just missing 1 more mana. Anyway, we got 2 shots at this. Probably not Ugin quite yet. So I definitely want to go... I guess we go for the 1-2, the same 1-2. We did set up our mana quite a bit already. We're going to take quite a bit of a beating here though. Opponent actually ended up discarding claim. Well, I guess we do have a few claim targets, just not that many. And we're probably going to be very careful about it. Opponent probably not going to go sacking stuff right away. They know we have a Brotherhood's End coming, so that... I'm actually a bit tense right now. Yeah, we're gonna take 3. That's a given. It'd be a shame if we could not hit that 1 more land, but I already figured as much that we're not. Okay, so we did hit some... So definitely go Brotherhood's End first. Now I can go Prismari Command to give us a treasure token, but we can also just we'll most likely destroy an artifact and give ourselves a treasure token. Then probably just hold up from Frolicking Familiar again. Opponent might have their own destroy target artifact, which would be interesting. Opponent goes Deadly Dispute. Does a sack, gonna ping us for 1. Draws 2 cards, creates an artifact. They're probably gonna cast something else in response. Corrupted Conviction, so there's the other sack. But I guess now we can... Yeah, now I guess we create a treasure token, destroy target artifact. We make the token, we destroy this artifact. Opponent is going to draw quite a lot of cards. Yeah, the problem is we haven't been able to drop anything on board because of the situation. So yeah, not looking very good for us here. Yeah, opponent drew a lot of cards. Fable, okay. Gonna let that resolve. Then I'm going to see if they play something to sack, can sack with. Unlucky Witness. Yeah, sure. Let's force them to have that other deadly dispute. Yeah, we are dangerously close, I'll admit. If our opponent sacks one of, yeah, the best bet is to target one of these first. The opponent is not gonna sack in response. Okay, that's fine. Let's just cast it for the sake of saying that we're able to cast it. Most. So what will we go for? Probably not gonna exile cards anymore. So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I do have to note that we are very vulnerable to this one getting sacked, so we probably want to play multiple creatures down later. Ooh, opponent's going for removal. Fatal push. Let's see. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, and okay, so 1, 2 gives us a blocker. And we do have Brazen Borrower to pump this to a 3/3. Problem is, we're still in trouble, I'll admit. At least we did force our opponent to. So, was that worth it? Kinda is, I guess. We will need cards in order to refill this one, though. Opponent pitching Bloodtide Harvester and Company. Yeah, this is definitely the new stock Rakdos sacrifice list. I haven't adapted to it yet. I haven't started using it yet. Never felt the interest to do so. Yep. Opponent. I guess next turn we could just drop a bunch of 7/7s. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 8 8s. And these are big enough that our opponent's not going to claim them. Oh. Yeah, we have to give it up. We can't afford to take any more damage. Opponent just lands a Cauldron Familiar, which is annoying, but not the worst thing to happen. I guess end of turn I will drop Brazen Borrower. Oh, we could have also gone for. We could also gone for Grafdigger's Cage. Creatures can't enter from graveyards. Got ourselves another Lucky Clover that we don't quite need. So we're gonna reduce the amount of risk we're taking by just playing big creatures now. Also, might as well swing at everything. Opponent probably not incentivized to block quite yet. They still have plenty of life. Next turn I draw a card. I most likely just go for Fae of Wishes, though I have to be careful. Witch's Oven. Okay, do they have a Claim the Firstborn? They do. They can't claim that. How many claims do they have? I know they pitched one. They have two. Technically, yeah, we can block this. We take 4. Oh, okay. Okay, now personally, this is where I complain about Claim the Firstborn being such an unfair card. But then again, we did kind of set ourselves up for that. Could we have played that situation better? I'm trying to think of a way around it. Probably not. We originally had Shadow Spear. I guess that on our list of 7, maybe it's worth putting that back in because that allows us to gain life again. So this one's good. Depending on the situation, we can go Ketria Triumph first or Mountain first. I probably will just go Ketria. Okay, opponent playing white will go Ketria Triumph first. That way, if our opponent just plays turn 2 Talia, we can still snipe it. No, it's a Stram. We can't quite snipe that one, so that is going to be a problem. So I guess the strat is going to be to put as many until we. The problem is we did not have Bone Crusher on time. Cartouche. Thankfully, it's just draw a card. And we can still snipe the warrior token. Let's see if our opponent decides to spread the love. This is a cast trigger though, so we can't really do anything right now. All that glitters. Yeah, they're gonna draw. It makes it a 5/5, but so we could just play Lovestruck Giant. Ideally, what we want to hit is our. Hey, we didn't hit it. Yeah, we're gonna play we're gonna play Frolicking Familiar. Yeah, we need to hit one of our few 1-mana answers, which we don't have that many of. If our opponent doesn't make this flying, I might just take the hit first. Yeah, Curious Obsession. Yeah, we really need to have a way to bounce this. All that glitters again. Okay, opponent's just going off. We do have to block this now, no matter what. Thankfully, but it does mean that the moment our opponent hits flying, it's going to be a real big issue. Okay, we are still missing our flying. Yeah, we're gonna cast the Lovestruck Beast first. If our opponent has a way to give this flying, it's kind of over. Yeah, we just didn't have a really. We didn't have a very good hand to keep. Yeah, opponent has flying. It's over. We did not have the right removal. Unfortunately, a lot of the extra removal that Wilds of Eldraine gives us it will put us into 5 colors. So we don't exactly have that option. I guess we could say that our interaction is very light. We only have very few cards. So maybe upping the interaction quotient is probably a better option. Like we can up the number of Vipers. That would and they probably play a lot better than the Questing Druid. So at least that is an option we can keep in mind. Okay, keeping this one. Definitely gonna start this on red because that's what we're missing. Not ideal, but having a land that we can just go put on red is actually very nice. Or on any color that we happen to need at that moment. So next turn we can, depending on the situation, yeah. Now that's where all the interaction went. So if our opponent doesn't really do anything, we can. If our opponent just plays more elves, we'll probably just Bone Crusher one. Oh, Toxic? That's interesting. I kind of want to play this just to draw a card. Okay, that sets us up for turn 4. Though this does ETB tap, so maybe... Okay, opponent's actually just gonna trade. Okay, opponent is playing elves. A weird version of that, I must add. Okay, Visionary draws them a card. Sure. Ooh, I'd love to play this just to get the free land, but I do need to snipe that Visionary. We'll do it next turn. We're gonna name red again because the cards that we have that need double color is basically double blue. Double red is for tutoring, but also going for the 1/2. When it goes to Growing Rights of Itlamok, probably finds a creature card. Goes for a Lone Marwyn. They probably just play, yes, another Elves. We do hit our mana though. There's an argument for just grab. Yeah, let's grab that one. Yeah, now the reason I'm letting this go is because the one I want to take out is basically whichever one can generate the most mana. The Elvish Mystic's not going to generate much. The Marwyn is going to run away with it. So I want them to play that first. Play another elf. Snipe Marwyn in response. We'll take one. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna go Fae of Wishes. Chandra Awakened Inferno, that sets us up to 6. And this one is each non-elemental creature. So don't want this to die right away. Let's just play the Bone Crusher Giant. I guess we can also just play this right now. Yeah, it won't die right away. I could have tried going for the Ugin, but not quite yet. So our opponent can kind of go wide. But these, yeah, even with Clan Caller, these are all gonna die. Yeah, because the clan callers die first. If our opponent trades for this, I'm pretty happy with that. They do get to transform. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gets +2/+2 and Death Touch. So we. Yeah, because the problem is our opponent does have the mana to pump this by X equals 2. So it will set the clan callers out of range. So I am forced to pay this. And that's still enough to drop it down. And yeah, that was a weird way to tap. Okay, just play Frolic and Familiar. So we could still be in trouble here. Opponent does have the mana for days, so they might as well just go for it now. So they only have enough to activate once. Will most likely just block clan callers, etc. Yeah, you're 1 mana short. Though clan caller they can do this to search for another clan caller. Probably should have done that first. When they're going for greed, so yeah, we block this one. That. It does have death touch, so it actually doesn't matter how we block, but it's so we actually do want to block these bigger ones. So 4, 8, 12. Yeah, this is fine. So we play this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll play the Bone Crusher Giant first. Okay, hit the land. We're, as much as I'd like to do the +2, this is still a big threat, so we're gonna just nuke it right away. Bye-bye. So we'll see if our opponent is able to say, okay, nope, they're hitting lands, so we should be fine. And yep, opponent concedes. We actually managed to stabilize reasonably well. We just needed to block carefully, and yeah, that's probably one of the few arguments where it's better to go for Ugin. We just needed to name x equals 2, and we would have nuked all of them. Still haven't found the right place to play Ugin quite yet, but we're getting there. We'll play one more game for this one, and then call this video as it is. As I mentioned, this is not a really powerful deck. It's really more for the lulz. It's also a fun way to experience stuff. I guess the other one I want to kind of try is some food. Okay, so this one a bit awkward. What we can do is we can play Rootbound Crag first. Yeah, having too many ETB tap lands, we probably want better options than these. I originally had a good number of shock lands, but man, they're very painful. Opponent goes for a Swift Spear, so I guess we're bouncing that. Oh no, never mind. We have alternative. Actually, we can wait, see if our opponent does anything else, because we could just Brazen Borrower this. Because I'm suspecting there's another Swift Spear. Then do they have the follow-up spell? I guess we'll just bounce one. We'll just bounce one, nuke the other. There was an argument for doing it right away, but I was afraid our opponent was going to have a Robber of the Rich. Yeah. Opponent just replays Swift Spear, that's fine. So we do want to have double red. Yeah, kind of have to snipe one now. Next turn, we probably just play the Bone Crusher Giant. Oh yeah, we should have set up for double blue because we had Brazen Borrower. So I could play this, but this is a real issue. I guess it's fine. Opponent plays Squee. And that's a very good bounce target. Yeah, unfortunately we are yeah, our Lance ET being tapped is an issue. Okay, so but we do want to snipe Squee again. Do I give up Fae of Wishes? Because the alternate plans I cast it now go Brotherhood's End. Worry about our opponent's next cards later. Yeah, we have to go for it. There is a version of this that exiles, so that would... oh no, it's when it's dealt damage, so it doesn't matter what happens to it. It does dissuade our opponent from casting Spree. Yeah, and the opponent's not going to cast it. They might just unload a lot of spells. Yep, play with fire. Might as well play that now just to have a blocker. If our opponent will need 2 burn spells to snipe this, and they probably would want to do it on their turn, so at least we're not taking it out on the Monastery Swift Spear. Nope, they're going for us. So 1, 2, 3. Problem is, if they have another burn spell, we're dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we did have a problem with the lands. So yeah, MTG tap is an issue. Yeah, we have to give them the cards. They might have a way to kill us with this. It is what it is. But that's mono red for you. Mono red is a very natural enemy for this kind of deck. It does not give you the time to set up. So that's why we're usually in a lot of trouble. I'm actually surprised we Monstrous Rage. Yep. Yeah, opponent is just showing off. Yeah, Monstrous Rage is a pretty neat addition. Being able to give basically the equivalent of +3/+1 for 1 mana. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, we probably were better off just sniping it before attacks. I think our opponent had it in hand anyway. Oh well, let's go for one more. And let's just call it after that. As I said, not the best deck in the world, but we'll somehow manage. Also getting kind of dark here. Unfortunately, my lights are actually very far. Okay, so Stomping Ground. Depending on what our opponent plays, we might go Stomping Ground turn 1. Actually, yeah, let's see what our opponent plays. Blue, Siren. Okay, we definitely have to do this turn 1. Also, not waiting for our opponent to try to put Curious Obsession because they could sack in response. Opponent goes Grindborn Cutthroat. Yeah, that's good enough. Opponent's doing the original Flash deck. Yeah, we played this back in Historic. So, Lovestruck Beast probably gets countered, but we're kind of just holding this back so that we can Bone Crusher Giant whatever they play in response. We also have to be careful. They will have a lot of counter spells, but they don't have that many creatures. They do have Spell Pierce though. Let's see. Oh no, they're just gonna opt. Okay. Now that is a very old version. Now that is a very old unoptimized version. Opt? Okay, but they definitely found their third land. Okay, hit our Hinterland Harbor. I'm gonna swing with the token with the expectation. Okay, opponent lets it go. So we're just gonna pass. Spectral Sailor, sure. Opponent not trying to put Curious Obsession on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Brazen Borrower end of turn, use up their mana. I'm expecting to lose this one. Or our opponent could just let it go, which would be annoying because I really want them to counter this. Okay, they just let it go. Let's see what our opponent does. I am going to swing with the token first. Okay. Then I can just okay. Let's see if they have the counter spell. They might have just a bounce spell. Stern Dismissal. Sure. I guess that's one way to do it. Yeah, our opponent's gonna be incentivized to. Yeah, we're gonna cast Frolicking Familiar now. That should be enough to get a counter spell. Basically, I'm trying to force them to use up as many counter spells as possible. Lookout Dispersal. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a pirate. Oh, I could bounce the pirate. Oh, I could bounce the pirate. They could replay it in response. But yeah, opponent was conceding that one. Looks like it was gonna be a matter of time. And anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. Yeah, turns out we did get a few decent games. Not the best. We didn't have the best win streak altogether, but at least we got to revisit adventures. It's been quite a while. We had fond memories of Throne of Eldraine, and Wilds of Eldraine is I'm filling up those nostalgia bits. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Might as well take a look at these packs. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are, and have a great week, everyone. Do take care. Yeah, nice ones, Twilight.